All right, Turo.
What's going on, Alec?
It's great to meet you. I'm
Nice
excited
to
to
meet
have
you,
you
man.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. You want to dive into a little bit about who you are, kind of some of your background so that people have a precedence for
Absolutely,
the rest of
man.
the
My
podcast?
name is Turo Mendez. They call me Team Turo. That's my brand. IFBB Pro, celebrity trainer, mentor, online coach, but most importantly, a dad.
A dad.
Yeah,
How many kids?
two.
2 kids.
Yeah, Ryu and Mazzy.
Okay. How old are they?
11 and 6.
Okay.
And Mazzy has special needs. She has a condition called lissencephaly, which basically at some point in the womb, she stunned her growth. And she's that of like a 3-month-old, but she's 6. But she's my angel, and she's taught me more about life than any professor can.
Interesting.
So
man.
I'm grateful.
So you said she's 6 years old,
She's 6 years old.
but has the
She's
mind and
she's
mobility?
tall. I mean, like she's long, but she's tiny, and she can't really, she has no motor skills. She can't stand up. She can't crawl. She can barely eat. We've denied feeding tubes. We've also accepted the fact that in the event that something were to happen, we're gonna deny, any intervention. So whenever God decides that, it is what it is. She does have a timeline, but we believe in, the divine time. You know what I mean? But while she's here, she's been a blessing. She's taught me a lot about life, humility, being a better person, and being grateful that I get to do all these things like we spoke about earlier. And yeah, that's like why I emphasize dad the most is what I take most pride in. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I'm a celebrity. I'm known as a celebrity trainer, an IFBB pro. I'm doing a guest posing now.
You said IBBF Pro?
IFBB, International Federation of Bodybuilders.
Okay. Somebody for me in my audience might not understand that. So what exactly does that mean?
Basically, there's competitions for bodybuilders, like that show off their physique. There's a couple divisions. There's men's physique, which is like surfer shorts. There's classic physique, which is what I do, which is more like Speedos. And then there's bodybuilding, which is more like, it's like a smaller, Speedo, I guess. I don't know.
Like a cocksock?
Yeah. Like a banana hammock,
There you go.
There's this big, like the Super Bowl of bodybuilding is called Mr. Olympia.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure you've heard
I've
of.
heard of that, yeah, for sure.
My division is classic physique, which while I was competing, I almost got there. But I'm pretty much done competing. I just do guest posings at amateur shows, which I'm doing one now in October. So I used to compete a lot, and I turned pro in 2018. I've done 12 professional shows across the country, and it's also helped me with like my fitness career, being a coach, being a mentor, being a personal trainer, and stuff like that. So, but now mainly what I do is I train celebrities, and I do online coaching as well.
Who have you trained celebrity-wise, just for some credibility for the audience here?
I would say mostly professional athletes, YouTubers, and some actors.
Could we get some names? Like you said you were doing something with Steve Will Do It, right?
Steve Will Do It.
That's huge for people in Miami here,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
like everybody knows Steve. You see
Everybody
Steve
knows
walking out of SLS and going to Moxie's, like you're like Steve. Milk Boys are down here, right?
Steve's a rock star. Shout out to my boy Steve.
For you to
I love you, Steve.
for you to have trained him, that's probably a pretty cool experience, right?
Oh, it was amazing. Actually, in 2022, I fired I think like 20 of my clients to go exclusive with Steve and just travel. And he was like my one client for 2023.
That's amazing.
And it was amazing to say the least.
It's super cool.
Yeah, it was a
so
great
you were with him
experience.
for a year.
A whole year.
What are some of the coolest things y'all did outside of working out in that space?
Oh
like
my
I
God,
can't even
yeah.
imagine what you did.
Some things I can't say on camera, but just gambling, high stakes gambling. Uh, we so much. We went to Hawaii. We went to Los Cabos, which is Mexico. Just so much travel. It's Canada. We did UFC fights, front row with Dana White, like
Amazing.
crazy, over the top experiences like that. It's just I'm forever grateful for.
I was gonna say that's got to be such a cool experience because not many people can say that they've done something like that. Sit front row to UFC, meet Dana White, all these things, right?
Yeah.
Like, so many people, especially dudes, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys
Yeah.
around my age, your age, like we all kind of look up to that crew. It's like that is such a solid crew. Dana, Nelk boys. Now they got Trump. Like they're in there with Trump.
Absolutely.
They know and are so close with such a big part of society, it seems. So what a freaking cool experience, man.
Amazing experience. I loved every second of it. So last year was insane.
And you're a year off of that, man. It's only 2024.
Yeah.
So how did that kind of shape your career and change your trajectory? Like, did that help in any way?
Oh, in every way. Just like, it established me as a celebrity trainer, and practically in a kind of like a weird way, like made me a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, so just like as far as like influence and like people noticing me because of the videos that I've been in and the work that I've done with the boys. So, and like we've become like a cool group, like a cool, just like, like we're all down as fuck. It was amazing.
That's amazing, man. That's
Yeah.
super cool. Any other big people that you've trained?
I would say some NFL players. Tony the Closer was huge, but he's retired.
What did he do, Tony the Closer?
Well, now he's in real estate.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, now he's in real estate.
Okay.
And he does also online digital products and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's up there.
Sure.
He's up there. He moved to LA I think in 2022. But we've met in Vegas. We've hung out. Also Vitali, which is the GOAT.
Who's Vitali, man? I'm sorry.
Vitali basically was, in my opinion, who blew up YouTube. Like he got to 10 million subs.
Really?
Doing crazy shit.
Wait, actually, I think okay, now it's kind of you're jogging my memory on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the greatest of all time.
And what did you learn from him, or what cool experiences? The reason I'm asking these questions is because the audience is going to be interested in this, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not people that are in your position that have had these opportunities.
Right.
So you might really help somebody in the personal training situation be like, oh, like I want to be like that guy. He's worked with Steve, Vitality, all these guys. Now, what can he share, and what has he learned that I could pull away from this podcast?
Basically, my slogan is beyond sets and reps.
Okay.
Which to me it means, it's people go to the gym for many various reasons, right? Could be heartbreak, could be a vacation, could be I just want to lose weight or get skinny, get toned, build muscle, vanity, just the list goes on and on.
Unlimited.
Right? But I've been able to realize that the one common denominator is mind, body, and spirit.
Okay.
So if you align those things with the tools of the gym, it's like personal development. You become a person of more value. You kind of like dial in on you as a person, your confidence, your energy levels, just relationships, your work ethic, because the disciplines and the philosophies of the gym can be applied to real life.
Bro, I always say that.
So
Everybody that goes to the gym, like you have everything you need to be ultra successful.
correct.
Especially if you're as big as you are, for example. Like how much time, dedication, commitment, everything you put in there?
Total like 20 plus years.
Yeah, it's not. There's less people that have six packs than there are millionaires walking around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's a very big.
It's a huge market.
And it's like it's such a cool milestone, like to have those things, right?
Well, because the thing is, you can't buy it,
There you go. You got to put in the work.
and that's the beauty of bodybuilding. Like you gotta earn it. You gotta like carve your flesh. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could BBL, or you could.
I was gonna say
you could put some
Ozempic.
fake calves, yeah, or whatever.
Your Instagram video on fake calves.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like. That was the purpose of that video. Like, listen, you can buy fake calves, but you can also build them. But it takes hard work, it takes dedication, and so does becoming successful in any endeavor, right? But those are the filters that basically, I call them filters because it basically weeds out how bad do you want it.
100%.
You're gonna face failure, you're gonna face doubt, you're gonna face anxiety, you're gonna face yourself.
Exactly.
And it's you versus you.
100%.
You know what I mean? And you gotta have a strong mindset.
So 2 months ago, I was in military training. I'm in the Army Reserves, and the things you go through
Thank you
during
for your service.
Of course, I haven't done much yet, but we'll get there. But anyway, so going through and breaking barriers, for example, during that training is something that happens, and a lot of people don't make it through, or they quit, or whatever the case may be, right? Like, you're rucking 12 miles with a 60-pound backpack, and there's people that have never worked out in their life.
Right.
Like, I'm in good enough shape to where it wasn't that big of a hurdle for me, but for some people, right? And then, like, they would end up quitting, some would make it through, but it's just interesting. Like, you're talking about the discipline, the commitment, and mine was only for 6 months. You got 20 years of this, man. So it's like, I learned a lot about discipline, commitment, all those things in the military, and it was super fun.
What was your mindset in that training? What kept you, jogging with that 90-pound book bag?
You know what it was? It was, so every time I've quit something in my life, it comes back to haunt me. Every single time. Like, I didn't graduate college, for example. And I've become successful without it, right? Real estate, purchasing, selling, all these things, investment properties. But it's like they're lingering. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, why didn't you finish, or have you finished? So now I'm actually taking classes, but the military is paying for it, which is interesting. So it's like, if I don't finish this thing, it's going to haunt me, and I'm going to have to come back and finish it anyway. So I might as well just finish it the first time. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Everyone has a different approach to whatever endeavor they're in. Yours is, I got to complete what I started. Mm-hmm. And that's not a bad mindset. What
is yours? Or like, how do you push through things like that?
Just commitment to myself, grinding it out, grit, I guess. Not proving anything to anybody, but to myself that anything is possible that you set your mind to.
Sure.
And I'm that guy that if I set my mind to something, I'm gonna get it done.
That's amazing.
So it's kind of similar to yours.
Sure.
I just use nowadays a little bit of different sources of energy. It's not always happiness and accomplishments and rainbows.
Dude, dark places are very motivating.
Dark places are very motivating.
Trauma, deep trauma motivate
anger,
the hell out of you, bro.
Grit, shit like that.
Tom Brady, for example, and I want to hear more. I want to dive deep into that. Yeah. But who is it? Michael Jordan, for example, would create an enemy out of his opponent on purpose to go and attack and crush them on the court.
Yeah.
Right. So pinning that person as an enemy, I find myself doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll look at a real estate agent that's competition, and I'll demonize it and make him an enemy and just try to choke him out.
Right.
Choke him out of the market, out of the location, whatever it is. So you want to dive deep into that?
For me, how can I put this? I think Gary Vee said,
Love Gary Vee,
destroy someone else's building to make yours bigger. Mm-hmm. So I don't really look at it in that sense. Because the only competition really for me is me.
Sure.
My procrastination, my doubts, my fears, my worries.
Sure.
So those are the things that I demonize and I attack.
Sure.
Like my own weak mindset.
Sure.
So I try to overcome those thoughts that sometimes for a lot of us are prevalent. Like we all face fear, doubt, worry. It could be in a pod, it could be in public speaking, it could be at the gym. The gym is very intimidating for some people. You know what I mean? So I try to use those thoughts as my enemy.
Sure.
And attack those and overcome those.
Can you
with my commitment and effort or whatever.
Can you break that down? Like when a bad thought comes into your head, like, fuck, I don't want to work out today. Like you're like shit or whatever bad thought pops in. Like what are you saying in your head or what are you doing to overcome that? Like what's the action?
The action that I ask myself is, what is the outcome?
Okay.
Like if I sit here and say, man, I don't feel like working out, what is the outcome of that? Nothing. But what if I get up and go work out? Something can happen. See what I'm saying? So like what basically, in other words, quitting is guaranteeing that nothing is going to happen.
Sure.
For sure. If you don't swing, you're not going to hit the ball. Sure. But if you actually try and get up, and despite how you feel, because at the end of feelings, there's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear
just get up, swing, try, effort. It could be minimal. It could be medium, or it could be all out. Listen, no one's 100% every day. But the mindset is always trying to like gravitationally pull you down for some reason.
Gravity.
Correct. Always. And it's like, nah, man, like, you know, for a long time, Babe Ruth held the home run record.
Most strikeouts.
He has the most strikeouts. Mm-hmm. Which, what does that mean? He swung every fucking time. Because guaranteed, if you don't swing, you're not going to hit. Okay. So that's what I think of like when I'm feeling like tired or like unmotivated or whatever.
When you say that you have to swing to hit, right? What are you trying to hit?
Listen, if I can inspire one person to go to the gym, if I can inspire one person to get better, become a better version of themselves through my example, I won.
That's your reward.
That's what
you're trying to hit.
The fulfillment. Yep. Or like someone that I've worked with and they're like, dude, like you changed my body, my mind, like they're so grateful.
Thankful.
That's like fulfilling to me.
100%.
See what I'm saying? So
it's like 6 of the last 7 people on this podcast has mentioned the VU Church. Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so I never had until this podcast.
Right.
I went the other day on Sunday, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Yo, you're Alec Mancheski. I see your YouTube." I'm like, "YouTube? You mean Instagram?" He goes, "I have 168 subscribers on YouTube." So I was like, "There's no way it's YouTube." He's like, "Bro, like, would love to come on the podcast, all this stuff," and that changed my whole day. You know what I mean?
See what I'm saying?
It feels so good.
So had you not gone,
it wouldn't have happened.
Correct.
There would have been
that's
I swung.
Swing.
Yeah. Okay, I swung, and then that's the hit.
The swing.
Okay.
Going.
Yeah. Interesting.
Just showing up.
I couldn't agree.
90% of it is just showing up.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing I find is just going.
Sure.
Because once you're there, you like with anything, you're there, you're present, you swung, you're at the place that you didn't want to go to,
sure,
or you felt tired, or man, I don't want to go, but you get to go,
sure.
Like you know, that's the mindset.
Okay, now I think that comes from a little bit from your daughter too, right?
100%.
Like having, you mentioned behind the scenes, just having functionality, like eyes, legs, all these things. Can you dive into that a little bit? Because so many people take that for granted.
Well, I first heard this from Earl Nightingale, which is you know, a personal development speaker that from the 40s, like, you know, but he was one of the pioneers, and basically what he said that since your mind comes from factory settings, you take it for granted, and human minds have created everything that you see. This house, those planes, that car, this watch. Somebody thought of that and fucking manifested it. That's fucking insane, bro. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, powerful.
This thing right here.
Just, it used to be nothing.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
Somebody said, bro, I'm going to make this fucking wooden thing and
look exactly like this, like swing like that, whatever.
Engineer it and 100%. Do it and manifest it.
Crazy.
That to me is fucking crazy. But since it's free, you take it for granted.
Sure.
And people are bored or they don't know what to do or shit like that. That's why I changed my mindset from I have to I get to, because there's people our age right now in a third world country that don't have these opportunities, or in jail for some fucked up reason, or in the hospital, sick, in a deathbed, our age, better looking, whatever the case may be, they would give an arm and a leg to be complaining in traffic, for instance.
To have our opportunity.
To have the opportunities that
100%.
you have that you complain about.
100%.
So that's why,
and that increases with money too, right? Like, I feel like the more money you have, the more you complain about little things like traffic, for example. Like, I always complain about traffic. I will go to very far extents to not complain about traffic, right? And then it's like you lose touch with that it's even a blessing to be able to own a car or have a car or sit in traffic. So
there's someone that doesn't even have a car.
Exactly.
You're like, fuck, bro, this fucking red light.
Yeah.
Bro, like,
is the red light really that big?
I think there's a saying that says, man, I was complaining about not having shoes till I saw someone with no legs.
100%.
It's the same. It's
100%. 100%. Now, let me ask you this. So you mentioned when you were talking about your daughter earlier, you said it's up to God's timeline.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I would imagine that to be a tough conversation between you. Are you married?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, the mother of the...
Yeah.
Okay.
We're friends. We're good. We're great.
Okay, so you and the mother, right? How does one go about agreeing to something like that? Because that seems like a very interesting conversation, and maybe there's some people that are in that situation, and your story or your thought process or you explaining this conversation could help them.
Because, like, quality of life, you know what I mean? Like, she's not in pain, she's not suffering or whatever, but also you got to think about the fact that it's not like she's in school and has friends and is traveling the world and is, has dreams and aspirations. See what I'm saying? So it's like, whenever her time comes, and they're like, oh, well, we could put a trachea tube and we can, have an artificial breathing machine and all this stuff. It's like, nah, dude, like, let her go.
Yeah.
Let her go have fun.
Sure.
Wherever we go after this.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that hospitals and the medical industry would kind of push that for a monetary gain on their end?
100%.
I love it, man. I agree with you 100%.
It's a business.
Hospitals are making money by full beds. It's the same as a hotel. If the beds aren't full, they're not making money.
Fuck a hospital.
100%. Let's dive deeper into
Fuck
this.
doctors.
I love this.
Honestly, like, fuck you, like, for real.
It sounds like you had a bad experience.
Yeah. Like,
Tell me, man.
It's just crazy, bro. Like you said, it's a business. They don't give a fuck about you. Like,
They want you to be sick.
And I understand that because, like, think about it. Like, you're a nurse. You work at a hospital. You're there every day, and that's your job. So all you do is see patients and patients and patients. You become numb. It's like a police officer. Like, at first he might like, dude, you were speeding, but right, go ahead, bro. Like, whatever. But after a certain amount of time, like, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get a ticket. Period. Like, you become numb to, like, human necessity and human vulnerability and human emotions. Mm-hmm. Like, with Mazzy's situation, there were doctors that were like, dude, she's gonna die, like, any day. It's like, bro, like, go fuck yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is the truth, like, where's the compassion, the empathy, the delivery of, like, two young parents, like, scared to death, not knowing what the fuck is going on, and you're with that savagery. You know what I'm saying? And like, obviously, like, I can't get up and smash a fucking bed over the guy's head.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Which I wanted to.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, that's why I take care of myself. I don't believe in the healthcare system of this country.
I think a lot of people don't.
So I take care of myself. I don't eat the food that this country provides. Like, yeah, I'll fuck around for content. I'll go have checkers and shit, but Like I eat really quality, high grade foods, even whatever it is.
Have you been to Europe?
Europe? Think about that, bro. Look at the society in Europe. As a matter of fact, look at the society in any other country. There's no obesity.
No, that's what I was going to say. That's where I was going to go.
There's none of these health issues that the United States have
because it's
for
regulated.
Profit margins and shit that they put in the food to preserve it or prolong it or whatever the fuck.
Skittles just got banned in California.
Thank God, bro.
Thank God.
That shit's
the dyes, all the other shit in there, like
dye, sugar.
We need a mass reformation of healthcare and food. And you know who all owns it? Blackstone, BlackRock, Vanguard. It's all those companies that all own the same shit that just are controlling everything. So it's interesting, man. So you've been to Europe?
I have not, but I know.
But you understand the difference in the food.
The difference in any country.
Sure.
Any country.
Except for America.
Except for America.
Okay, so what do you eat? Like, what do you suggest? How do you get around kind of the food that's here?
To put it in a short sentence, farm to table.
Okay.
You know, like from the ground or the ocean to your plate.
Sure.
The least people in between that,
100%.
the better.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
In supermarkets, go to the produce section. Like if it has nutritional facts, you shouldn't fuck with it. Sure. Like honestly, you know what I'm saying?
They always say don't go in the middle aisles, right? Stay on the perimeter, and then that's all you need to do.
Everything in those middle aisles is poison.
100%.
From manufacturers and companies that are just trying to monetize and kill you.
They put, dude, sugar's a drug. They put all sorts of crazy stuff in there.
To addict you to that product.
Exactly. It's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if they were putting cocaine in some of this stuff.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Little zap here and there.
Exactly. We're going to get him back. He's our customer for life.
We got him.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to post that. We might have to cut that out. It might get flagged on YouTube, but.
But it's true.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man. Where do you want to go from here? What are some other messages and things that you want to put out?
I want to teach trainers the real business side of training. I think a lot of trainers, unfortunately, don't know that this is a people business, not a training business. To teach them how to like really monetize their passion, to brand themselves, to help their companies grow, and not just always exchange time for dollar, which is a dead end street, and you know, some type of public speaking in that realm and in that platform, but also with like the stuff that we've been talking about today, which is like empowering parents to be role models to their kids, not feeding them McDonald's because it's convenient, like helping their kids, which is the future of our country, actually fucking realize the importance of nutrition, of personal development, of like, you know, like working out, resistance training, you know, like making their kids better, because kids don't listen to what you do. They watch, like, they don't listen to what you say. They watch what you do. So, like, if the parents like, well, no, go eat chicken, but they're having Doritos,
the kids gonna
eat
Doritos.
And man, like, I just got back from like Disney, and we're fucked, bro. Like, all these kids, like, they have no chance. They're already obese,
and it starts with the parents.
5 years old, and then you look at their parents, and you're like, bro, this fucking slob piece of shit just ruined this kid's life. Because to reverse that is no joke, bro.
Sure.
Like, you know, I've worked with people that have been extremely overweight, and it's not easy, bro. It's not easy rewiring those pathways, because, like you said, there are addictive things in these processed foods and all this junk shit, and to kind of like reconstruct that mentally and dial that in is very challenging.
100%.
It's like you got to create a new programming and a new lifestyle for ever.
So when I was in the military, there were a lot of people join to fix that issue, right? And it's very interesting. There's something in the military called fat camp. So the only way you can go to basic training is if you make it through fat camp. They measure you and take body mass index. If you're too heavy or too fat, you cannot join the military.
Right.
So these people will go and they'll be forced to like work out. It takes away all the freedom that they have to go eat snacks at midnight.
It's crazy.
For example, it's very interesting. There was a gentleman who was in our group, lost 60 pounds in 2 months.
Wow.
Right, so pretty good. But
Really
he
good.
was like 6'6", 6'8", something in there, huge guy. We're sitting there with our rucksacks walking. And I'm like, man, this guy lost a rucksack of weight. Good for him. But he was kind of forced. I think a lot of people get distracted with the freedoms and the lackadaisical habits that they've created. And it was cool to see this man change. It was wild, man.
Yeah, you just said it. The freedom to go down the street and get an ice cream and come home and watch TV and do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
And it's a slow process. But I always ask myself, I'm like, man, like, how do they get there? Like, at some point, you got to look at yourself and be like, what the fuck am I, like,
I don't think they have any friends or, like, parents. Like, if my kids were getting fat, for example, I'd be like, yo, you're fat as fuck.
Right.
Figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would consider that more loving and respectful than, oh no, it's okay. Like, I'm gonna nurture you, rub your head, give you here's a 12-pound bag of M&Ms.
And that's what's happening.
Crazy, man. My mom used to own a vending machine business, and she would have commercial-sized candy in the basement when we were growing up, and I'm talking mounds of it, right? And single mother, trying to be loving and caring. So what she would do is we would go shopping. She would let me fill up a grocery cart full of just shit food on top of the candy that was in the basement. And then I'd invite all my friends over and we played video games. Now, that's never going to happen with my kids. There is no way I'm doing that because that's creating bad habits, right?
Right.
Like terrible habits.
Right.
So then I had to like rewire my brain and kind of figure that out as I got older and realized how bad of a habit that was.
But isn't that crazy that, because you could have gone the other way with it. You could have said, man, like, look at what my mom did. Like, that's why I'm like this. Like,
accountability.
You see what I'm saying? But you chose not to do that and not to repeat it with your, offspring or whatever. So, because there's a story about two twins with the same dad, alcoholic dad. One of them became super successful, mega, superstar. And the other guy was an alcoholic, druggie, jail, in and out, troublesome. And they did an interview with both, kids. And they were like, why? And the answer was the same. Look at my dad. So it's how you take the example or the trauma or the experience and how you respond to it that changes the course of your life.
100%.
For you, it was like, I don't want this for me and I don't want this for my kids.
100%.
But you could have easily justified it with, bro, come on, look at my mom.
It was so good. It was tasty. We had such a great time fucking doing snowman in the candy.
Correct.
Totally. All right, Turo. So you were mentioning, like, you take your traumas and then you twist those and turn those, and it can either propel you or bring you down.
Correct.
Right? What are some of the traumas that you've had in your life, and I'm happy to share some of mine as well after, that have really pushed you forward and propelled?
First one, I would say I went to jail from 24 to 29 for drugs, and I was in the wrong route per se, and that was very traumatizing for me and my family because it's a fucked up situation, and that's actually kind of one of the reasons I started bodybuilding, because where I went had weights and stuff, and I started exercising and reading, and I used my time to better myself. And ever since then, I've never been in trouble again. So I kind of used that pain to empower myself and become a better person and not be a two-time loser. I would say another trauma was my first divorce, because they were, the mom was trying to take away my son. And I gave up bodybuilding in exchange for being a parent. Just, I don't want to get into the details, but I used that. also to like, be a better father, be a better present dad. Because doesn't matter how much money you spend on your kids. What matters is how much time you spend with your kids. And like, in their, leisure and their hobbies and their things. And number 3 would be Mazzy because of her condition and how to be grateful for the things that we get to do on a daily basis that we complain about, overlook, and fucking like that's crazy to me. So those 3 would be primarily the top ones that have enabled me to use or turn those traumas and pains to power and like redirect my sails to use those experiences to help others that might be going through the same thing. Like, damn, this motherfucker has gone through worse things and is still currently going through some fucked up shit. So I gotta tighten up, like when somebody complains to me about a diet or about like dumb shit, like my empathy levels are very low. You know what I mean? Because like I've bled, I've gone through those things, I've overcome them mentally, and I just like, I can't accept that excuse.
Sure.
It's weak.
Sure.
It's weak-minded.
Sure. I think a lot of people look down on that mindset too for lack of empathy, right? I don't know, because I would say I'm pretty low empathy as well. And it always comes back to, instead of make an excuse, make an adjustment.
Right.
Or fix it or something. It's
yes.
like, but then you get all the people that like, sympathize with this, empathize with that. And it's like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I don't know, man. I feel like we get looked down upon if you're not empathetic in today's world.
Because respectfully, it's gotten soft.
100%.
Like when I was in high school, there were kids like 6 feet tall, like huge kids. Like I went by a high school the other day, like it looked like a elementary school. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on.
That's the way the top wants it, though, right? That's the way Vanguard, Blackstone, BlackRock want it.
It's like a control.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like 100%. Controlling sheep.
100%.
So
the military was big in that too. Like back in the day, bro, like World War II, all these people going through this, that, and our drill sergeants, when they went through, let's say that they were between 30, 35 years old, right? Yeah. The military was a way different place back then.
Yeah.
No fat camp, no acceptance for any like bullshit.
Soft shit. Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, we have to have fat camp. They can't.
We have
swear.
to have a transgendered camp.
Yeah, exactly. They have.
No,
you're right.
Cap,
and it's crazy, but all the drills would say, man, if you would have went 10 years ago, you would have been crushed. And like we are getting soft. It's a very interesting transition.
That's why I like David Goggins a lot. Like he talks real. He's gone through some real shit. He's overcome some real shit. Guy. Big military guy, obese, and he overcame a lot of shit that a lot of people would have fucking cracked and crumbled.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? We were actually at a UFC fight, and he was right next to me, and I was like,
that's badass.
Respectfully, you're the toughest motherfucker in this building, including every fighter. Because, like, it's not about physical toughness all the time. It's about mental toughness. I've learned that being, physically fit and all that stuff. If you're not mentally fit, like, they have to correlate.
Sure.
The mind always quits before the body.
Sure.
So it's like I talk a lot about approach, right? So I tell you, hey, Alec, you're gonna bench 225 for 20 reps. You're gonna be like, Turo, I can't. You cracked. Your mind already fucked you, and that's 99% of the population right now.
Sure.
You gotta be a lion in this sheep's world.
Sure.
See what I'm saying?
Sure.
And how you approach any endeavor, any set, or any podcast or anything in life determines the outcome. So you gotta fucking dial in mentally first, because whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So if you tell me, yo, you gotta bench that 315, I'm gonna go at it. I don't care if I fail. The outcome really doesn't matter. What matters is the effort, the approach, and the hunger inside of you. The swing.
Back to what you were saying before.
Exactly. It's all full circle. So that mindset is diminishing. Now it's like, oh, oh, you're crying because you hurt you were writing and the pencil hurt you. Like we're fucking like, it's a soft as fuck shit. That's why like there really is no competition, bro. Like,
how do you? Okay, let's dive into this, and I hope if you're comfortable talking about it, great. If not, but what was jail like, and how do you think that shaped your mindset into today? There was a gentleman on here 2 or 3 podcasts ago. He was addicted to drugs. He's sober now, but he kind of went into that darkness of that. But what was that like, and how did it shape you?
Man, like when your freedom's taken, you're fucked. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I learned a lot. I learned a couple things about that. Number one is that here, like in the outside, there's a lot of like things that, like for instance, like cars or jewelry or security that enables the person to be like bigger, and I'm this person. In jail, you're a number with a jumpsuit just like me. So all you have is your body.
I'm relating this to the military because I felt like I was in prison during military. The military is based off of that.
I would say there's a lot of similarities.
The Stanford prison experiment. A lot of the military is based off of that, actually. So this is interesting. I'm excited.
I would say that the military and jail have a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
The biggest one is that, okay, I was in jail with a lot of like these guys that did a lot of fraud and had billions of dollars and bodyguards, and they were, untouchable, ego through the roof. And when they went to jail, they cracked like a little bitch.
All that's gone now, right?
So
it's internal. Now it's about you and your body.
And it's your physical body.
I was going to say.
So it's like, here you mask what's the most important shit with all this material fake shit, and in due reality, if you strip all that shit from a person, who the fuck are the real you? You're fucked, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And then like if you're in a room full of real lions and you're a little bitch, you're gonna get fucked, literally.
Like beat up, like physically, like
beat up, fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
oh shit, like, okay.
Yeah, like for real. And it's the fucking truth. So you gotta empower Alec, not the facade.
The Lambo or the watch or the house or anything.
Bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
All that's cap, all that's bullshit. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Yeah.
That's just to like show and inspire people that it can be done out here. But I was a Lambo way before I had one. Like me, myself. Like, I'm 42, dog. Look around. Look around for another 42-year-old like me. Good
100%.
luck.
I hear you.
See what I'm saying?
I hear you.
And I can go right now to the ghetto or another jail or a penitentiary and hold my ground 100%.
Do you think
or a corporate office in New York with a bunch of soft motherfuckers and have an eloquent, educational conversation.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
No, 100%, bro.
But the truth is, like, that's like being a chameleon. You know what I mean? Adapting to your environment, you know? But I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Sorry, say that again. Oh, I'm going to process this. A warrior in a garden rather than
a gardener in a war.
Okay.
Do you understand?
100%. 100%.
A gardener is going to get killed.
Crushed. Yeah.
But a warrior in a garden is like going to say, okay, I can fucking annihilate you, but I'm going to water this plant and be nice and not fucking kill you. But I could.
Yeah, so having that ability, but knowing when to turn it on and
because,
off.
like, I can't take credit for this. This is Jordan B. Peterson.
Love him.
And he says, you got to become a fucking monster.
100%.
Like, you got to become a relentless fucking animal and harness it, because if you don't have that ability, you're harmless. You don't have the choice. You're soft, period.
100%.
You can't, like, you're a sheep.
And some people will never find that because they've never been to prison, for example, where you learn so much of that.
It doesn't take prison.
But it takes a deep, dark spot, right? I would say so.
It doesn't have to be a bad, like, yes, primarily you have to go through something bad to harden you. I do believe that. But you also have to have a mindset like, dog, like, I can't be soft. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, some people that got bullied in school became martial artists and crazy fighters and UFC fighters, etc.
That's true.
Some became cops to, like, then bully you with a badge. You know, you understand what I'm saying? It just depends on the person. But I believe what he said, like, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
That's interesting, man. I remember when I was in college, I got arrested for underage drinking, and I ran. Right, so I spent one night in over in the drunk tank or whatever it's called. That was the most traumatizing experience of my life.
Holy shit.
And I can't, like, you've been in what, 4 years or 5 years it was?
Yeah.
So way different experiences, right? Mine's kind of barely just touching the iceberg, but I was like, holy shit. Like,
I don't ever want to
I
be
just
there
remember
again.
sitting in that cell and, like, hitting the button to call, like, the front desk or something, and I said, like, when are you gonna get out of here? When are you gonna? And I was like, when am I gonna get out of here? Like, let me call my mom. All this stuff, and they're like, fuck. They were like, they wouldn't even talk to me. Nothing. Took I felt like hopeless, bro. That was crazy. So then they have me in a orange jumpsuit. They got my ankles shackled and my wrist shackled, and I had to go in front of the judge for an underage. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? Yep. Like, this is, and I remember dreaming about that for like 2 years after it happened. Like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, that was the craziest thing in the world. Like, and still to this day, it traumatized the living hell out of me, man.
Me too. Trust me.
That's fucking crazy. What are some crazy stories that you have in there?
Really, where I was super chill. I just worked out. It was I got closer to God. Sure. I know it sounds cliche, but, like, I read the Bible a lot. I went to like church a lot. Yeah, kind of like a hypocrite because I haven't been to church since. But definitely build my relationship with Him a lot, and you know, because God doesn't call the qualified; He qualifies the called. Okay. So I feel like basically I had to go through that experience for a greater purpose that still lies ahead. Sure. You see what I'm saying?
Were you, like, ripped before going in?
I was 24. I think I started I started lifting weights late at like 21, because high school I was like skipping, hanging out with chicks, doing drugs, you know, doing bad shit, like, you know, like fighting. I actually started fighting first, like, professionally, and then when I got hurt, I hurt my knee getting ready for a middleweight fight. I went to physical therapy, and that's when I kind of started learning about, like, exercising and shit. And then I saw this movie called Pumping Iron with Arnold, and then I changed. Like, I don't want to fight anymore. I want to get big. Sure. So I probably, like, lifted for like 2 or 3 years before I went in. But in there is where I really, like, hell yeah, you know, I killed a lot of time.
It's one of the only things you could do, right? Read the Bible, work out.
That's it.
What else is there?
That's all I did.
Exactly. That's interesting. So then that becomes your kind of like your passion to get through into the other side, like kill the time in there. What are you thinking about when it's like, did you know when you were going to get out? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. But what are you thinking about when you're in there? Like, fuck, like, I can't even.
Like, what was funny was, like, I got sentenced, right? And I was like, I was 24 years old. I got 5 years. I'm like, bro, I'm fucking dead. And I saw some kid come up doing jumping jacks and happy as fuck that he got 10 years. And I was like, it changed my whole perspective.
Yeah. I'm here half that time.
Holy shit. Like, I'm blessed, you know? So basically, I took advantage of that time because really there's no bills, there's no stress. It's not as fast as
Same
the
with the
life
military.
that we live here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like just, it's a very repetitive, daily, same shit, same schedule, same eating time, same lifting. So I created like a discipline in there that I still use to this day.
That's interesting. How was the food?
Horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Everyone asked me that about the military. I was like, it wasn't that bad. Like, I didn't really care at that point. Like, that was the least of my worries.
I mean, I worked in the kitchen, so I would, you know, for some time, you know, everyone hates it, but I would get food and, you know, get some privileges with food and shit like that. But it's horrible. It's not good. I can't even imagine now. Like,
Worse now, you think?
oh, bro, I don't even care to know.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that probably changes with like spending or bills or I don't even know. How does that work? You know what I mean?
Well, you have a commissary, and you could buy shit, you know, but regardless, I would just take a lot of the food from there. And like there's groups in there, right? So like Puerto Ricans, Mexico's, like, you know, like little groups.
cultural groups, right? Yeah.
And like they would make like their style food
Hell
and
yeah.
shit.
Hell yeah.
So I'd get food from like some of those groups, mostly Latin, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's super interesting, man.
Yeah.
You ever see that building that's in Miami next to the downtown? It's in downtown Miami.
Yeah, two of my friends live there.
Really? And they're always screaming at the women
They're
at the
screaming
pool.
at the pool. Yo, that's fucked.
That was a viral video, and I saw that, and my buddy actually lived
I have two friends that live there.
Yeah, that's funny as hell, man.
Super funny.
That's crazy.
They climb up and they yell at the girls in the fucking pool. I guess they didn't think about that when they were building that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the rent there is super cheap. So if anyone needs to come to Miami and they don't really got the bread,
you want to
can
come to
live
Miami, live next to a federal prison. Come on down.
That's crazy, bro. Okay, so where else do you want to go with this? Any good shit that you want to leave people with or interesting? Okay, let's talk about do you know Wes Watson?
Yes.
Okay, so he lives in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I always see that video of him doing like the gang signs and stuff. I think he served in prison too.
Yeah.
Okay, how does one become vulnerable about talking about these things in front of an audience like this? Because that can't be easy to talk about. You have to kind of come to terms with yourself, accept who you are. Yeah. Could you dive into just being open and honest like that?
It's an experience that we unfortunately had to go through and grow through. And to be honest, you know, he's like, I think he's an amazing dude, man. I know he gets a lot of hate and a lot of people hate on him, but he's always treated me with love and respect. I was just with him this morning. Wes, I love you. I respect you. I think it's an incredible story, what he's done in such a short amount of time. Because to do 10 years and come out and do what he's done and be the influence that he is, yeah, is he tough? Is he, you know, but he's not soft, like, and he's not lying. He's saying, bro, like, get better, dude. Like, what the fuck? Why are you such a bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't have anything against him. I actually love and respect him. I've done a push-up thing with him, and you know, we have pictures together on Instagram, and like we've become like really good friends. So I find him to be a role model that has no filter, speaks the truth, and you know, just a lot of people hate on that for some reason.
So Juan, the gentleman that was here 2 days ago, said that Wes changed his life. And because he was so open and honest, and he was dealing with drugs, I think Wes had some dealings with drugs. I don't know. I don't know too much about
Wes's story too well.
Me neither.
Because you know, it's always at the gym and it's always passive.
Sure.
And we always like joke around about other things because it's like, who the fuck wants to talk about that? You know what I mean? Like, it's in the past. like I talked about it because you asked me, but like I don't. That's not me anymore. You know, that was a younger, dumber kid.
Sure.
That made mistakes and had a different mindset, and it just helped carve the character that I am today.
Sure.
But that's not who we are anymore. But
Sure.
you can use those things
Sure.
as an example for people that haven't gone through that. Hopefully they don't. To like they say, if you're smart, you learn from your mistakes. But if you're wise, you learn from others' mistakes.
100%.
So it's like, dude, if like we're
100%.
here like sacrificing our lives to show you, like, dude, this is the way to become better. Don't be stupid. You know what I mean?
It's so interesting too. Like me coming from my background, mom was like, don't get tattoos, don't do this, don't do that. And then kind of jumping into this world now of which I'm getting into, which Wes has a lot of influence over. He's all tatted up and stuff. And I'm really appreciating just that different perspective of life. Like you with your story, for example, like I just got goosebumps, but like I've never been through that. And it's honestly, and I never, like, if I saw you on the street, would I be like, hey, we're going to be great friends? I look at your tattoo, for example, and maybe whatnot, and it's like, we probably, like, we're just different people.
Right.
And like, I'm starting to realize the beauty of humanity is in those differences. And if everybody was alike, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Like, I'm more of towards the corporate-ish, but not corporate, but kind of self-starter, didn't graduate college type of crowd. So like, I appreciate you sharing that and appreciate that we can have these differences, but also come together and like make this podcast, for example.
Because number one, like I think like you have, you know, you're young. I don't think that you've been stained by corporate, but a lot of these people are very evil people.
Corporate,
like corporate, like those black groups, not black people, like, those.
Yeah.
Those are evil, bad people.
Bill Gates.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, okay, we got a couple tattoos, we've been through a couple things. Like, we're really good people.
That's what I'm learning as we're sitting here. I was a little nervous for this interview.
Like, we were, you know, like, we went through a dark place, but like, you know, you learn to be good. You learn humanity. You learn love, compassion, empathy. What I mean about like low empathy is like for excuses. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, coach, I couldn't eat that food because, you know, like I had ice cream. You're soft. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
But back to like what I mean about corporate and like thugs or delinquents or whatever you want to label us. It's like, we're really good people, genuine, loving, caring, invite you into our house, feed you, give you a guest room, whatever the fuck. Whereas to these motherfuckers are going to leave you at the door and call the cops on you.
Sure.
See what I'm saying?
Difference, yeah.
That's fucked.
Sure.
You know? And those people, when they go to jail, they count on us to protect them.
Right.
And pay us to protect them. Because they're scared bitches.
This is interesting too, and they're typically, if they're like,
Real rap.
if they're white collar, for example, they're dealing with millions and millions and millions of dollars, screwing over a ton of people. Whereas maybe the crimes that you guys are dealing with, it's not affecting that many people, and it might be 100,000 or 200 or whatever the case.
Right, whatever
the fuck it is.
So really, in a scale of good or bad,
but they're ripping off way more people, hurting
families,
more people.
Kids, trust funds that were depleted for greed.
Interesting.
Yet
never.
This
is
good.
A click. Yeah. This I never.
And we're bad. Mm-hmm. Bro, like that's insane.
This is interesting. Yeah. Why? Okay. Why do you think that in the corporate world there's such a bad connotation with like tattoos and a ton of tattoos and stuff? Like, why is that here? Like, why do some people, like, I just remember Trump's video saying, never have tattoos. And he was telling that to his kids. Why do you think that that's such a big connotation?
I think that lately it's become a little bit more
I agree.
acceptable.
I agree, 100%.
Than before.
100%.
Because before that was like, oh my God. But it's like, it's the pain that you've gone through and you express it through the artwork that you put on your body. You know what I mean? It's a reminder of something. Like for me, it's like I put Mazzy here, I put my son here, I put the weight of the world here. Like it's things that are relative to your story and your journey to remind you of like, fuck, you know, like I gotta stay this course. I gotta, you know, stay, you know, but it's not to intimidate or to, you know, to like become an image of like a gangster or anything like that. But that's what it's perceived as.
Yeah, because that's what I used to perceive it as, right? Is this like intimidation, like, damn, I'm scared to talk to that guy. I might get fucking punched in the throat, and I'm a small guy. Like that guy could just crunch me. You know what I mean?
No, but that's the like we're probably the nicest people. Honestly,
Yeah.
like someone without, I'm more scared of someone without tattoos than somebody with tattoos.
Because of the corporate reason that you talked about, they're more.
Yeah, just because they're not nice people, and they actually are very judgmental, which is wrong already. See what I'm saying?
100%.
Even
No, that's very true.
Okay, man, that guy's got tattoos. Like that's scary, bro. Fuck you. Like you don't even know me.
No, 100%.
What if I like do charities for kids with lissencephaly and
Sure.
you're here judging me because I have a tattoo?
Sure.
Like, fuck you. Like, you know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like, so
100%.
that in itself is already showing you the mindset of that individual and how shallow that person thinks and how they judge a book by its cover without even flipping it open and saying, hey, man, how are you? Whereas to the guy with the tattoos, because what he's been through,
He will do that.
hey, man, you good? You need $5, bro? Here, bro. Like, he'll give you the last $5 he got.
This is interesting, bro. I'm learning a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't. The appearance isn't the person. It's just what they've been through. It's scars. It's battle scars.
So I think in my mind, and I think kind of some other people's minds similar to my situation, we look at like somebody like Wes, for example, as like ultra masculine. I don't know if that's a correct term, but I would look at him and be like, man, that guy is ultra masculine, like super, I don't know, into that. And it's kind of scary, but I'm a little bit interested. But then there's somebody like me. I would consider myself of more like a, I don't know if feminine man is kind of the right term, but like my father wasn't so much in my life. I was raised by my mom, my grandmas. So I don't have that like super masculine like stance. Like Tate's, for example, I would consider them like super masculine. So I think I'm kind of missing that a little bit, which is an interesting kind of
You go to the gym?
difference. I don't, bro. I don't go to the gym.
Start there.
I used to. Now I just run. I actually hurt my back in the military, so that's been interesting. I'm kind of healing up from that. But after I heal up, I'm gonna definitely jump back in. But I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of people in the corporate world in my kind of lane where it's like we're masculine in a different way. I don't know. Can we dive into that a little bit?
See, like the thing is, like, let's say, and like Tate would be the one saying this, like, y'all would be the first motherfuckers calling us to protect y'all.
Sure. I mean,
Like,
if we want a bodyguard, for example, it's like, hey,
man, like they're attacking us. Go fight for us. We're gonna be back here, like scared.
well, we would have the money and we would just be financing like the shit, and like you guys would be front lines. Right. It's interesting, bro.
No, super interesting. But that's the part, because look, every man has a bitch in him. This is Dodd, my mentor, and like you control that bitch, you know, and the bitch meaning like, don't go to the gym, don't go running,
be soft,
eat the bag of Skittles, whatever the fuck it is, like, you know what I'm saying. The masculine is like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, I'm going to fucking crush this shit. And that boils down to approach. So what voice is going to dominate your life? The bitch or the man, that's up to you. No one decides that but you. Because like even like those, back to those twins that were interviewed with the same dad, they made their choices individually. One became an alcoholic like his dad. One didn't and became super successful and made it happen. So it just boils down to which voice are you going to listen to? See what I'm saying?
I hear you.
But back to what you're saying, like, it is interesting to me that these top guys are the softest motherfuckers ever. And cancel Tates and hate Watsons and hate me just because we built and developed a man. Because back in the day, bro,
would you say it's because you're a threat to society, or like a threat
not
to?
a threat, bro, but I get like looked at and stared, and like it's like, holy shit, this guy's fucking, and I'm just a big teddy bear.
Yeah, you could kick some ass or whatever, but you know how to control it.
Oh, 100%.
So I would say that's maybe not. I don't know what correct term we want to use, but maybe not a threat, but like
none of those guys go around beating people up.
That's true. That's true.
Like we don't like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't walk outside right now and go fuck up your pool guy because
I hear you.
He's in my way. Like we don't. Like we don't process things like that. But we're judged that way. But it's funny that we get called on to be the protectors, providers, and the fucking men of like the leaders. Whereas to really, you guys have the power to do both, but you choose not to.
It's crazy.
It is. It's a really interesting topic.
100%, man. Like I've learned a lot just here. I've never talked about this with anyone. I don't know if I felt comfortable enough to talk to somebody about it. So I appreciate you being open and honest like you are, man. Like, and I think a lot of it comes back to just the beauty of the differences, right? It's like, you're who you are. People are going to love you for who you are, what you do.
Same with you.
100%. You have a lot of what I don't have. I have some of what you don't have, and it's like, okay, this isn't interesting. Where can we find the middle ground here?
That's
it's
it.
like
through communication, through humility, through understanding, through compassion, through empathy.
I think
operating from love, which is what all these guys preach. If you listen to them, operate from love and gratitude.
Yeah.
But they stand on solid ground. See what I'm saying?
I think the unknown, for me, I'm very proud of myself in this moment right now, because me as a podcaster, episode 1, I would never been able to have asked you these questions. Like, it has taken a lot for me to sit here, look at your Instagram, have you in, be a little bit nervous. You got a big following, all these things, right? And the unknown is a very scary thing. So for me to even ask these questions and start to get educated on a different viewpoint, I think is a lot of progress made for me. Probably. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm very excited that we had that conversation. And like, it was scary, but here we are. But and anything else you want to? We got about an hour or so of content. So anything else you want to?
I'll just leave you with this. We get to is that it right there?
That's it right there.
We get to stop complaining. Excuses, no matter how legitimate, do not produce results. Improve yourself daily. Educate yourself. Work out. Become a person of value. Become a person that can offer more. Don't be so soft. Don't be so hard. Compromise, but at the same time, stand ground. And people are watching, man. You never know who you can influence. So with that being said, Team Turo, Alec.
Great to meet you. Where can they find you on social media? Because I'm going to put that
Team
under.
Turo everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Snap, TikTok. At Team Turo. Alec will put it here.
Hell yeah. Thank you. It's so great to meet you. Thanks for coming on.